So I've recently seen this video posted on IGN titled Finn and Poe, Bromance or Romance. And basically it's Oscar Isaac's opinion on whether or not Poe and Finn should have actually had a relationship in that film that was more than just a friendship. So I saw that video and I had a bit of fun watching it. Oscar Isaac is very charming. After that, I kind of just did that thing where I scrolled down just to see what the likes, dislikes are, just see what everyone else thought of the video. And yeah, it was very, very much heavily disliked. And I had a feeling exactly why that was the case. So I did that thing of scrolling a bit further to the comment section, and lo and behold, this is what I found. So Dark JSN writes, if it wasn't important for the plot, no. Why can't guys just be friends anymore? Well, if you think it's not important to the plot for them to be homosexual, then surely it shouldn't really matter. I mean, whether they're heterosexual, homosexual, whether they're platonic or friendship or whatnot, if it wasn't important to the plot, then you shouldn't really have a problem with them being gay. Why was it important for either of them to be straight in the story? I mean, and on the topic of why can't guys be friends anymore, I mean, why couldn't Kylo and Rey be friends? There was an entire community on Twitter, Reddit, YouTube screaming for a Reylo relationship, and nobody blinks an eye. Not one person. Yet for some reason, if you were to pair together two guys, all of a sudden it's not important for the plot. And why can't they just be friends? Huh. Okay. I think I see where the line's being drawn with some people in terms of relationships. Too Hazy writes, not everything is LGBTQ. Well, yes, not everything is LGBTQ. Right now, if you were to look at the amount of content that is LGBT, and the amount of content that is just straight up heterosexual, then you'll find the scales pretty much tipping into the heterosexual section. That was a fun little alliteration. Having this thing of like, not everything needs to, no, not everything is. That's the point. Star Wars had one little hint at LGBT, and it was right at the end of the last movie on a 2-second kiss that was basically almost missable. Even if you look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe in 22 films, the only little hint of an LGBT character was the guy in the therapy session in Endgame talking about his husband who had snapped. To be honest, it should be the other way around. Not everything has to be heterosexual. That should be the statement you make here. And then someone here echoes past that. Yeah, no, friendship stories are better. There is no need to force LGBT things and everything. They're not forcing anything into anything. Implying that it's forced in implies that it's basically an attack. Basically, it shouldn't be there in the first place. Gay people exist. Bisexual people exist. Transsexual people exist. If they're not forced into the real world, then they're not forced into our media either. They should just be there. It shouldn't be a case of I'm watching a gay person, I'm thinking, oh my God, this is forced into me. No, it should just be a case of you're watching a gay person and you're watching a gay person. This whole idea of it being forced in is what drives these prejudice. It's what drives the bigotry. You have to open your mind a bit more and not see it as being forced in, because essentially if there's two people on screen who are straight having sex, you will never say that they're forcing in heterosexualism, if that's even a word. And off the back of that, this person called Patrick Lyra replies, I agree given the fact that the LGBT representation is the most overused character trope as in 2019. As in 2019? As in? Please, give me a slate of films that have LGBT characters in 2019 off the top of your head. Please. If you struggle to get 4, 5, I guarantee you would not struggle to get a series of characters that are heterosexual. I guarantee it. It's a lot easier to do. Shazam didn't have any. I don't think Zombieland 2 had any. The Lion King definitely didn't have any. Detective Pikachu, no. Us, no. Spider-Man Far From Home, no. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, no. Knives Out, Joker, no. It Chapter 2, yeah, they did have a LGBT character. But no, that's forced. No, you see all these films that didn't have them. No, this one is forced. Definitely it's forced. They should have had another straight guy. Then I moved on to Twitter to see what the vibe was like there. And genuinely on Twitter, it was, surprisingly, it was better, but there were a few idiots that seeped through the cracks, this being one of them. Except in The Last Jedi, Finn kisses Rose and Poe took half of the Rise of Skywalker trying to kiss that one girl. Yeah, first of all, Rose kissed Finn. even if Finn did kiss Rose, bisexual people still exist. You're mad at the idea that Finn and Poe can't be gay, but also celebrate the idea that Poe spent an entire film trying to get into a woman's pants. Can you not see the double standard here? Can you not just for a second sit back and listen to these comments? What you're saying is, this guy and this girl kissed. This guy wanted to kiss this girl. But no, those guys can't kiss. No. Finally, the last comment I'm going to show you lot today, it's because I feel like the point has way gone past what it needs to be. No, bromances are more organic and real. No, bromances... Oh. Bromances are more organic and real. I mean, gay people exist. Gay people are not like unicorns or Santa Claus or whatnot. Like, I don't understand how gay people exist. They're real. That romance between two guys isn't what people go to Star Wars for. Well, romance between a guy and a girl isn't exactly what we go for it for. We go for Star Wars for the fantasy, escapism, space opera adventure between good and evil. Relationships just happen to fall into that sometimes naturally. Luke and Leia nearly get together. Han and Leia get together. Anakin and Padme get together. Rey and Kylo get together. We have seen relationships in Star Wars since the start of Star Wars, but again, the even slight hint at a gay relationship on screen, nope, that's not what we came for. That's not what you came for, because you are clearly a homophobe. End of. And this guy also has the audacity to say, and while it doesn't bother me as I'm a supportive, which is basically the sexual preference equivalent of, I'm not racist, but... And to finish off, Star Wars is something that's enjoyed by millions of people across the world. And everyone, therefore, should have the right to go and watch a Star Wars film and feel like, A, it's for them, and B, they are not being shunted aside. For people who are of a white, heterosexual demographic to then watch Star Wars and think, Finn's black, he's not allowed to be a stormtrooper. Finn and Poe, they can't get together. We only need this thing to happen and this thing to happen. That is so narrow-minded. People will watch Star Wars, see an alien on screen doing its weird thing, see people get resurrected from the dead, see all these weird powers and force stuff and things that are definitely unreal, and yet you just hint at an idea that one of these people can be gay in this world, and they lose their minds. And to be honest, it's hilarious to see, but at the same time, it's actually still disheartening, because we're here going into 2020 and people still can't get around the idea that a gay person can exist on screen, and for you to watch the film and think this. For the people complaining about this who are heterosexual, you'll think it's pandering, you'll think it's forced, you'll think it's all these words that you want to throw at the dictionary. What you need to think about is that one child out there, that one 10-year-old, 12-year-old, doesn't matter how old they are, who doesn't feel like they're represented, who walks into a Star Wars film for the first time and sits down to watch one of the biggest franchises of all time. And for that biggest franchise to have a character that they can relate to, whether a black gay person, a black bisexual, a white transsexual, for that person who you in these comment sections are saying shouldn't be represented, for them to sit down and look up and be represented, that will probably be a very powerful experience for them. Like, that will probably be something that's like, look, we are seen, we are recognized in this film. And for a child to have that level of acceptance is more important. Yeah. Grow up.